From the stories that I've heard, you were apparently pretty crazy.
I just had Bible study.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was psychotic.
So that's all I
Listen, death and rebirth, baby. Death and rebirth. Okay, that's
Listen,
my
I've been
theme.
a Capricorn my whole life. All I did was work.
I mean, I feel that because
What are you doing?
I was trying to raise this.
I feel the work need, and that's why I never called out. But I partied
Oh,
and still worked.
I did not.
Work hard.
No, they don't do
on
shit.
themselves. They work hard at on themselves.
We party.
Vanity.
Well,
But you're an Aquarius.
you're more of an Aquarius.
What do I do?
What's an Aquarius?
A fish.
A weird person who likes to have their individuality.
I'm not a weird person.
You literally were telling us earlier, hey guys, when we're on a hike, just know that I'm having.
Your own main.
Kaylin's been there. She's.
I know. I know how he is.
We're not
yep.
judging you for it. We're just
I feel
saying
like
you're
you
an
kinda are.
individual.
There's a little
If you don't want to do it, you're not doing it.
That's true.
Whereas me, I'll say yes to anything.
No.
I
Not as
will
much
say
anymore.
yes if I thoroughly investigate and study everything and research
I'm not
it.
as.
That's why I.
Kaylin said y'all were watching a scary movie the other night, and I was like,
And it wasn't really scary.
and then I said, nah, I'm good.
You should have done it. It was.
I don't do
pretty
scary
weird.
movies.
It wasn't that
It
bad.
wasn't scary at all, actually.
Yeah.
was
We
kinda-
we
Let's watch a
actually
scary movie tonight.
we
Do you want to?
Uh-huh.
I don't want. You can't leave though. That's the thing.
Oh no, I'll be in it.
Tyler. Okay. By the way, we're recording. I want to tell the story.
I hate.
I knew.
recording.
I knew.
Why
I knew.
do
I
you
knew. I
do
just
that?
had. I had
because
this
I
idea.
love a cold opening, and I don't like waking
cold.
opening until.
Actually, I like it being cold, but I don't like cold when it's open.
Well, I just wanted to tell the story about when I wasn't there, so I didn't experience it. But when you
Delete
were at
this.
the movies with Aaron,
Okay. So here's the story for everyone. I don't do scary movies. I am the guy. Now, if no one's ever seen me before, I'm a bigger guy. However, I am also the guy when we watch movies that I will have a pillow, and I will hug the pillow, and I will
Same.
put it in front of my face. And if there's a scary part, I will hide my face because I don't do scary movies.
I do that.
So I had a friend who invited me to a movie a long, long time ago called Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
What?
We went to the movie.
Yeah.
The first, not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes, the opening credits had hit. And I said, I got to use the bathroom. And I went to use the bathroom. And I didn't go to the bathroom.
You Irish goodbye.
I went to my car and I drove home. 30 minutes later, my friend texted me and said, hey, man, are you still in the bathroom? Are you okay? And I said, oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm at home. I'm not watching that. And that's what I do when there's scary movies on. Because I don't do
so
scary
funny.
movies.
Oh my
That is
god,
so
I love
funny.
it. That's
Like
so,
so like
funny.
what is your like what do you consider a scary movie? Like paranormal stuff or like
Scary
if it's
movie.
anything, just anything. Anything scary.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
The one the other night wasn't too scary.
It wasn't too
I'll be the
He
judge of
wouldn't
that.
have liked it,
It was
but
pretty
it
good.
wasn't too scary.
We kind of well
It was very weird.
it helps though, like I know you don't like talking in movies, but scary movies help in group settings when you're not at a theater when you can talk through them.
Yeah, I don't
It
like
kinda
talking
diffuses
during a
this-
movie.
I know, but even in a scary movie,
Maybe, but I.
because we were
but-
diffusing the situations by trying to guess what was happening.
So here's the
Right.
problem, though. I don't like talking during a movie, and then you said scary movie. I don't watch scary movies.
But
So
you just said you kind of wanted to tonight.
because I know, but I was joking. Well, kind of. It's a little bit of alcohol involved in that. I told Kaylin whenever you all invited me, I said, if the movie gets too scary, I will go sit on the back porch while you all watch the movie, and I'll listen to sad music because I will not watch the scary movie.
It's a normal Thursday night.
That's a normal day for me
Why don't you like scary movies?
because I'm a sissy,
You're
and I'm okay
scared.
with that. I'm perfectly proud of that.
And then he
That's
texted
okay.
me.
Literally,
he was
like I feel like we need
I'm
to
not
put a
coming.
Yeah,
picture
and
of you
then-
up there because this is burly ass man with a fucking like long ass
Manly
hair
man.
who looks like he will tear
He's
you
a
apart.
woodworker. He can lift a desk above his
Literally.
head.
Like the burliest of burly men.
I don't do scary movies.
What do you do?
He has
Happy.
He likes the
No,
rom-coms.
whatever. Happy.
Okay, I like emotional.
He likes rom-coms.
I'm a big love story.
He's a softie.
Yeah, I kind of am.
He's the person that you like to.
Still bitter that you didn't watch that damn YouTube I sent you, but it's fine.
I'm sorry.
He also kind of has a thing against the Beatles, so that may be
Okay, that's
kind of why he
that's fair.
didn't want to watch it.
But
The
this is
Beatles.
not
have
the
a
Beatles
thing
singing
against
it,
the
though.
Beatles.
I mean,
This is a beautiful.
They're not my top
chorus.
choice.
They're not your top choice. That's all I'll say.
What does the Beatles have to do with anything?
It was the
Blackbird?
That's who wrote the song.
Oh, I never knew about that.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back to the Spirits of the Round Table
Welcome
podcast.
back to the spirits of this round.
Thank you for
table.
joining
We
us
will
again.
haunt you.
This dysfunction.
Hope you had a good week.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
How was your
Anybody
all's
do
week?
anything?
I had
fun?
a week from hell.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm on
no,
summer
no,
break, so
no.
I've been great.
Yeah, but let's count
yeah.
down.
It's not long, only a couple weeks.
I know.
I didn't really have a week from hell. Sorry.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
We just celebrated the.
Well, we did have a
250th
day
birthday.
off. That's the best part about it,
We
honestly.
had celebrated the 250th birthday of America.
Mm-hmm.
Go dogs.
Go.
We survived.
I don't
barely.
know how. We'll see. 250 years is quite a long time for an empire.
It's about
Yeah.
too
We'll see
long
when we
if
go
you
down.
ask me.
Mm.
That's the what was it I saw the other night? That's the Pluto transition usually, ain't it? It's 250
Yeah,
years.
or something like that. Yeah, the Pluto.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Pluto
The
makes
transit.
its full
Yep.
round 250 years.
It's our
So
Pluto return.
yeah, death and rebirth.
So tonight we are continuing our adventures into Greece and Greek mythology, and we are going to talk a little bit about the Odyssey by Homer.
Great story.
Featuring Odysseus.
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 Yeah, Jacob's still trying to figure out how to say that word.
Odysseus.
Better known
Um,
as Odysseus.
Oh,
And-
it's that easy.
It's that easy. I do hate. There is so I have to teach history, and there is times where I'm trying to pronounce a word, and then I have to be like, okay, I have to Google this or watch a video
That's
on this or
literally-
something like
yeah.
that, and it makes me mad whenever I've overcomplicated a word. And I'm like, oh,
It's literally
That's
how
simple.
It's literally how you
how it sounds.
you
Yeah.
read it, and it's like that can't be it, and then you listen to it. It's like okay, so that is it. Okay.
Odysseus is definitely one of those because you're like, it's got to be more complicated
Yeah.
than
No,
that.
it's
And it's like,
Odysseus.
oh no, it's just Odysseus.
But like you said last week, though, like you've got ancient Greek, you've got like
Yeah.
modern Greek, you've got. I mean, there's just so many versions of one word of how they say it. They say it differently now than they said it in ancient Greek.
There are a ton of that are just, especially with us, because there is Americanized versions of it,
We fuck up everything.
and there is like actual, Greek or Phoenician or Egyptian or whatever.
Phoenician.
That's another.
Phoenician.
Phoenicia.
Yeah, it's just like it just depends on, like, this is a random one, but Sacagawea,
Sacagawea.
that's an Americanized. It's Sacagawea.
Oh.
That's how you should. That's the American.
and all the
That's a Native
Americans are like, oh, and all the Canadians
Sometimes-
are like, wait, is it Canadian?
Sometimes,
I don't. It's Native American. So
Native American. That's what they're Native Americans. I said
sometimes I
Canadians.
say Sacagawea just randomly.
Sacagawea, Sacagawea.
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 Yeah.
Sacagawea.
Sacagawea.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Say it.
So it's just there's so
Sacagawea.
many.
Sacagawea.
Odysseus is pretty straightforward.
I feel like though, like when you like, I'm spelling it in my head, trying to Sacagawea and Sacagawea. Like I feel like it would make sense to read it if you're reading it out. Sacagawea.
Yeah.
Fun fact: the Cherokee word for the Smoky Mountains is what?
Shekinah.
Blue smoke.
Shekinah.
Shekinah.
Yeah.
The blue smoke.
And
The
why do
mountains
we
of
know
blue.
that?
Dolly Parton.
By the way,
Thank you, Dolly.
this has nothing to do with what this podcast is.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, we sometimes go on.
Sometimes we
tangents.
go, we're tangent. That's all right.
They're relatable though. We were
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
Greek words.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Okay, so tonight we wanted to talk a little bit about the monsters of the Odyssey. But first,
the monsters and a goddess.
yeah.
She's a witch.
But first, Tyler,
Yeah.
will you give us a little bit of a background of what the Odyssey is?
he takes his tape wrapped glasses and pushes them on the bridge of his nose. It's like, okay, guys, let's go.
So this is my nerd moment because
Yeah.
I love the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Yeah, we know.
I think Homer wrote two beautiful epics whenever he created these. So obviously the Iliad is the Trojan War, and that introduces us to Achilles, which is considered one of the better hero stories.
Great book, by the way.
Yeah.
Son of
Oh.
Achilles.
Oh.
my
Yeah.
god, heartbreaking.
What is it?
It's so yeah.
Oh my god.
Is it a book?
Yeah, we have it.
There's
read
so many different
Yes.
like illustrations that have come from the Iliad, with Achilles and Odysseus and all these characters that are introduced to us, and then the story of the Trojan horse that is welcomed in. Odysseus is so the cool part about it is there's a really beautiful kind of metaphor in the Iliad where Achilles is this cunning and agile warrior. And Odysseus is a warrior in his own right, but he is a tactician. He is not a brute force. Like, I kind of classify like Heracles, Achilles, and Odysseus, and they have their three different things. Heracles has his strength, Achilles has his stamina, and Odysseus has his brain. And that's Odysseus' story, is kind of him using his brain. And so he develops the Trojan horse, and he comes up with the idea of sneaking into the walls of Troy. And so he does that in the Iliad, and the Odyssey picks up right after the Trojan War is ended, and Odysseus is going to make his journey home. And so there's a couple different kind of variations of this, but essentially Odysseus goes to the gods, and he says that I have defeated the Trojans, and I have done this, and look what man has done. And so Poseidon, in his rage, he says that because you feel like you don't have to rely on the gods, you will never see home again.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's never going to make it back to Ithaca, which is his home. And so he's going to spend the next years traveling and encountering these monsters and these gods and witches and all this other stuff on his journey home. And that's literally where you get the term an Odyssey, as a journey home, an epic journey home. And so it's this trek that he's going to go on for years and years, simply just trying to make his way back home. And there is one of my favorite things about, and I guess this kind of ties into what we talked about. I'm a sucker for a love story. And there is a beautiful love story between Persephone and Odysseus, where that's what he wants to make it back to. Is he wants to make it back home. He wants to make it back to his wife and his son.
His wife is Persephone?
Mm-hmm. Is it Persephone? Am I saying that right?
Penelope. Yeah.
Sorry, not Persephone.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Persephone is Hades.
Yeah. Sorry. We talked about that last week. Sorry. We were reminiscing about that. My bad. So Penelope is who he's trying to make it back to. Penelope is his wife. And so, so it's essentially just the story of him encountering all these, monsters and these mythological beings and,
Overcoming them.
and trying to overcome. And it's cool because like he has to use everything at his disposal. He has to sometimes use his strength, his men, his wits, his brains, and all this other stuff that kind of goes into it. And so that's essentially
sacrifices, like mentally, physically.
It tests him in every possible way. Till he eventually reaches back and comes back to Ithaca. And then the cool part is, even when he comes back to Ithaca, he has one final test. Because he has the suitors that are after Penelope, and he has to kind of outwit them and outstrength them in a way, to eventually get his home back. So it's a really cool story.
It is a cool story, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun to like teach this kind of stuff.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah.
And so we all kind of picked some monsters to talk about, and I feel like yours is probably one of the most well-known monsters. Mm-hmm. So do you want to go ahead and talk about your guy?
Yeah, so I picked two different ones. I couldn't really settle on these two, and these are probably two popular ones. So the Cyclops was the first one. Polyphemus is the Cyclops that he encounters. I think one of the reasons why I also picked this is one of my favorite stories, and the cool part about it is it shows the brains that Odysseus is going to bring to it. So essentially it's this man-eating Cyclops, and they go on to this island. It's one of the first islands they encounter. So this is one of the first monsters that he's going to encounter on his journey. And he goes into this cave, and there is wine, and there is cheese. And essentially they've not eaten anything, and they've not drank anything in a while. And so they get this, and they fill their bellies and all this stuff. And there's sheep also in the there's sheep and there's goats inside the cave. Well, then the Cyclops comes in. They realize this is dangerous. He seals the door so they can't get out. And so Odysseus has to think fast on what he's going to do. And so he's talking to the Cyclops, and the Cyclops asks him, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm nobody. I'm no one." He says, "That's my name, no one." And so the Cyclops says, "Okay." He goes, "Well, I'm going to sleep, and I'll eat you in the morning, or I'll eat one of your men in the morning."
Don't tip me with a good time.
So while he's sleeping, they build a stake. They sharpen a huge piece of wood, and they cast it into the Cyclops' eye. And he's in panic. He rolls the stone out of the way. The men start slowly escaping. Now, what Odysseus didn't know at the time, this whole island is filled with different Cyclopses. So Cyclops was an offspring, was a child of Poseidon. And so that's where the Cyclops famously came from. And so on this island is filled with Cyclopses. And so the Cyclops, Polymetheus, screams out to his brothers, and he says, "Brothers, he's injured me. Please help me." And when they call back to him, they said, "Who has injured you?" And he says, no one has injured me.
Yeah.
And they say, "Why are you screaming then?" And so Odysseus, by telling, and it's cool because it's like he had this plan from the get-go. By him saying his name was no one or nobody, when he screams out, "Nobody has injured me," or "No one has injured me," they think that he's just gone insane.
Yeah.
And so Odysseus is able to gather all his men. They make it off the island, and then, of course, they sail on to other islands. But I always thought that was a neat.
That is.
I love that story because once again it shows he didn't use like his muscle or his stamina or something like a Heracles or Achilles did. He used his brains, and so I always thought that was a neat thing. And then the other one I did was the Sirens, and that's a famous one. They give out this melody, and it's famous that, and this is something that is throughout different cultures. Even in like piracy and stuff like that, they would talk about how like when you would sail, you would encounter sirens and they would call them in and shipwrecks. And so there's a famous story about how they think on the coastline where they think the quote unquote sirens were. There was actually jagged rocks that probably shipwrecked a lot of these people historically. And so they think that this was an actual thing. Everything good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm moving mine back and forth.
Oh, gotcha. And so he encounters these sirens, and so there's a cool story. There's a cool kind of like added thing to this in the Odyssey. Odysseus was always thriving for knowledge. He wanted to learn more. He was always wanting to learn more because he knew he could use it against someone, or that he could just be better educated in some way.
A man after my own heart.
Yeah, and so the cool story is in this, when he encounters the sirens, he has to go past them. He knows that his men cannot hear this because if they do, they'll be drawn into the sirens. The ship will be wrecked and the journey will be lost. And so he tells all the men to plug their ears, and they have to go by. But Odysseus wants to hear the call of the sirens. So he tells his men to strap him to the post of the ship. And so he's tied to the post of the ship. And he tells the men, no matter what I do, don't untie me. No matter how much I scream and all this other stuff.
Right.
But he wants to hear what all these other sailors have heard and not survive to tell the tale. And so he's one of the few people that's able to hear the sirens. And he hears their beautiful melody, and he screams to his men to untie me, that I want to go towards them, that I want to see them, that I want to, embrace them and all this other stuff.
To lick them.
That too.
Precisely.
He probably says that. That's not in the Odyssey, but that probably is said.
They added that later.
So he gets to hear that. His men make it through. Eventually, they get to a point where they're able to no longer hear them and untie him. But it's just, I don't know. I always loved both of those because it shows, one, how he's able to use his wits, but two, how he there's a beauty in always thirsting for knowledge. Sometimes too much. But I thought I always think those are cool stories on how he's able to do that.
That is really cool. And the fact that he wanted to hear the sirens call.
But he also knew that he couldn't resist it, and so...
Yeah, and he was smart enough to say...
Exactly.
He wanted to
Time me
live
down.
to tell the tale.
Yeah. Because no other man had been able to hear them and live to tell the tale. Because, like I said, if they heard it, that's where they
went
were
towards
drawn
him,
to
and then they died.
And then they died. Because normally it was jagged rocks and things like that. Like Sirens were kind of known to be those things that would lure you to your
men
doom.
into the water.
That happened to me once.
Yeah.
No.
Did
Well,
it?
yeah.
I was lured.
You were
On
lured.
a sailboat?
You were lured?
No, it was just in the creek the other day.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well,
It was one of them water.
well, you're like Odysseus, and
It
that
was
you
one of
can
them
live to tell the tale.
You live to tell
It
the
was
tale.
one of them creek sirens.
Yeah.
They're a bit
So
Go to sleep,
The-
little baby.
there's a lot of there's a lot of definitely cooler monsters and like more over the top. But those two, I don't know. They always, when I read the story, the first time I ever read the story when I was like in college, those were two of my. I don't know. I feel like they very much encompassed.
I definitely
Odysseus.
feel like the Cyclops is probably the most known
Most common.
For sure.
monster
Yeah.
of the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And it is that kind of the stepping point because it's like the first.
He has to get
big
to.
one.
Well, obviously, if he didn't kill the Cyclops, then he wouldn't have the wrath of Poseidon, right?
And see, that adds to it. So,
Yeah.
like, he had already kind of ticked Poseidon off, and then it makes it worse. And there's other
So
obstacles
the rest
because
of the
that.
story for him is full of like downturns, right? He runs
Absolutely.
into things over and over and over on the way home.
And that's the worst part, too, is, like, that was the thing, is, like, it very much encompassed the society of that time. I mean, they are a cluster of islands. Greece was essentially made up of islands.
Yeah.
And so Poseidon was very much to be feared and to be respected. And Odysseus is one of the few characters in stories that does not respect him. And now, he eventually learns his lesson. He does respect Poseidon.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the whole thing is like, it was almost like the danger of too much information, too much knowledge, that at the end of the day, no matter how smart you are, you needed to rely on the gods. You almost could take, there's a lot of different meanings you could take from it, but that was one of the things
Right.
that Homer was trying to get across.
Yeah, I think it's super cool to hear that story and just to see how it all kind of connects to each other. But then he also runs into a multitude of other things. So,
100%.
Joe,
Yeah.
do you want to talk about the monsters that he runs into for you?
So yeah, I'm talking about a couple of them. They kind of go hand in hand with their stories, I guess you could say. First one is, so again, we don't judge
Oh, yeah.
pronunciations around here.
Here we go.
Listen, and we don't judge. I did Google it, so it's pronounced either Scylla or Scylla, depending. Modern day, it's mostly Scylla, so that's what I'm sticking with. But it's one of the most famous sea monsters in Greek mythology. It represents an unavoidable, violent danger. She lives in a cave on one side of a narrow strait, directly opposite of my second character, Charybdis. Sailors passing through the strait have to make the terrible choice either to steer close to Scylla and lose a few of their members, which Odysseus in the story has to make that choice. Kind of backfires on him, but to lose a few of his men going towards her, or to, go into the whirlpool that is Charybdis, which basically sinks your ship. It's going to swallow you whole. But she was said to look from the waist up, appearing as a beautiful woman, but around her waist grew 6 long necks. Each neck ended in a snarling dog's head filled with rows of razor-sharp teeth.
See, and I'd always heard
I'm
she
so
was
confused.
like the offshoot of the Hydra.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be like kind of like a representation of the Hydra, is what
Look
I'd
her
read
up.
once
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I don't know if you were going to say that. I didn't mean to take your
No,
thunder.
you're good.
or anything.
You're good. She had 12 deformed legs hung beneath her body, and her lower half is often described as fish-like or serpentine. The barking of her dog's heads echoed constantly throughout her cave. The combination of the beauty and the horror was kind of intentional. It kind of wanted to combine that like human aspect with the grotesque animal forms for it. She wasn't always a monster. There was a couple of different myths about her, saying that she was a beautiful sea nymph at one point.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, so one story is she was a sea god named Glaucus fell deeply in love with her. He sought to help the sorceress Circe, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, to win her affection. Instead, Circe fell in love with Glaucus herself and poisoned the water where Scylla bathed.
She's like a Medusa character.
Kind of.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Well, I mean,
okay.
kind of makes like, because Medusa, her hair was snakes,
But like where
her
Medusa was like so beautiful and all
Yeah.
this other stuff, and then she's turned into a
Kinda turned
monster.
into a
That's
monster,
cr-
yeah.
okay. That's cool.
When Scylla entered the water, monstrous dog heads erupted from her body, permanently transforming her. And then the second story was Amphitrite's jealousy. According to this version, Poseidon desired Scylla, but Amphitrite, again, don't judge me if I'm mispronouncing it, became jealous and cursed the young woman into becoming a monster, which also kind of emphasizes why innocent figures suffer because of the rivalries between gods. But yeah, so she lived, like I said, beside a stiff overlooking a narrow channel. A lot of historians associate it with the Strait of Messina, kind of like in Italy.
Yeah, I've heard of
Italy.
Okay.
The cliff was so high that sailors often couldn't see her until she attacked, and she would just reach down from her cave, snatch sailors from passing ships, and devour them alive.
She's a hungry girl.
She's kind of an angry girl. But in the Odyssey, she appeared because Circe warned Odysseus that there was no defeating her. So she advised him to sail closer to Scylla rather than Charybdis, because Scylla would only take 6 of his men. Charybdis, though, if he sailed towards, would
Take more.
take the entire boat.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to go. Odysseus ignored part of her advice, and he armed himself hoping to fight Scylla. The monster struck so quickly that he never even got the chance, though, and she grabbed 6 of his strongest sailors. And then the other one is Charybdis. She is not really like ever seen to have a face. She's just a whirlpool.
She's just a
like
whirlpool.
she's literally just the body of water with a
Yeah.
hole. A living whirlpool.
Always imagined it as like a being underneath the water, and like when she opened her mouth, like that was the
creating
pool.
this, like the
That
whirlpool
was like
himself.
the engulfing.
That triggers my thalassophobia.
Oh my
There-
god,
so-
it's so scary.
Like a side note, there is a really good miniseries that I watched a long, long time ago when I was in high school, I think. And I actually recently rewatched. I think it's on Amazon Prime. I watched it, and it does a really cool job of like displaying. It doesn't hit all of the monsters, like not every single encounter.
What is it?
It's just called the Odyssey. It's it's like a 2-part miniseries. Like each episode is an hour. It's only 2 episodes, like each an hour and a half. So it's like a 3 or 4 hour series.
I feel like we watched that.
It's a super old, but it's very, very,
I
very
remember
good.
we read this in high school.
Yeah,
We read the
yeah.
Odyssey in high school.
And I think it's very good, and it does a good job of like showing both those, because that it kind of always fit into the narrative that in my mind I had, which was like this monster that opened up its mouth and
just kind of like
with like took
brought it
everything in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, that's what she was described
exactly like that.
Yeah.
Like historians, like, or writers, ancient
Yeah,
writers,
yeah.
they like described it as a monstrous force beneath the water that would just swallow, all of it in and then just spit it back out.
Yep.
Basically. Like
Down to
mouthwash.
Davy
That
Jones
was her
Locker.
mouthwash. Some myths say that Charybdis, sorry, my brain just went completely blank, was actually the daughter of Poseidon and Gaia. She helped Poseidon flood coastal lands to expand his
Gaia.
kingdom, which angered Zeus. As a punishment, Zeus struck her with a thunderbolt and transformed her into an eternal sea monster.
Of course.
And
he did.
instead of
course
walking
Zeus
the of course he did. Instead of walking the earth, she became trapped under the sea forever, swallowing and releasing water.
Aw.
But it was said that 3 times each day she draws in enormous amounts of seawater, creating the whirlpool. She would pull the ships beneath the waves and then violently spit the water back out, basically leaving a shipwreck, like just tearing the ship apart.
And
bring
what
back
better
up to
way
the-
to describe your shipwreck other than a monstrous creature who
Right.
totally took the ship?
Totally took it.
She's a monster.
Many historians think that it was inspired by like dangerous tidal currents in the area of the Strait of
Okay.
Messina. And that's where
Science
kind
backs
of
myth.
science
100%, yeah.
happened. But they took the complicated currents and like the occasional whirlpools that would happen, and that's how they kind of
A whirlpool to me is crazy. Just
whirlpools.
thinking
I mean,
about it,
they happen
it's
in
just
like
crazy to
rivers
think about.
around here, because like going down
Water is terrifying.
like
It
the
really is.
Water is
Nantahala-
terrifying.
Nantahala River, like whitewater rafting.
Mm-hmm.
There was a whirlpool there that like they would take
That's
the people
crazy.
by, and you had the option to like
No.
go under, because it would spit you back
not.
out. You had to like not panic, but it would spit you out.
Not
to the other
panic is
side.
not my.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes the
Strong
Odyssey so perfect, like and how it's able to last so long though, is because still to this day, with all the information, technology, and science that we have, the ocean is so
Oh,
mysterious
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
that like traveling
Yeah.
on the ocean or traveling to these unknown islands and stuff, it just there's a myth behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It fits. I feel like it fits. That's why I think it holds up. It
Yeah.
holds up so much.
I
Because
mean, just
people
think
are
about,
still
like,
scared
I think
of
about.
that,
I mean, this is high school that I went down to Nantahala, but I think about that, and it was relatively large, but not really that big, of like a just swirling water that like people would go and they would just get taken under, and then they would get like shot up like
No.
20 feet down.
That's
know?
crazy.
No.
But like I
thank
think
you.
about that, but like imagine in the ocean.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the
The
man?
middle of the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
And it's like this
Absolutely
big
not.
ass whirlpool just opens up.
Oh,
Nope.
terrifying.
Do you remember the man that we saw at the Y in the kayak?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he like did that. Like he went
We-
down, and we were like,
Wait, did
"Are
we
we
go-
supposed to call the cops? What's
don't-
happening?"
I don't feel
He
like we
was
ever-
training
Yeah.
for
crazy.
something, but we were like,
But
"We're
we,
just
like-
gonna walk away, pretend like we didn't see this."
Did
Did we just watch a man
We
drown?
never
different
saw
than
him
I
come
am.
back up there, to be fair. Probably should cut that part out. The part that we didn't see him come back up.
No, I saw him.
Did
He
you? Okay.
he was practicing.
Ah, that's terrifying. But in the Odyssey, Odysseus first passes through the strait, following Circe's advice, and then he accepts losing his 6 men to Scylla rather than risking everyone. Also, I love how I just like pick when I want to say Scylla or Scylla.
Yeah.
But later, after the crew kills the sacred cattle of Helios, Zeus destroys their ship, and Odysseus survives. He's floating on wreckage and was carried back towards to Charybdis, and she begins swallowing the sea, and he desperately grabs onto branches of a fig tree hanging over the whirlpool where he waits. The sea disappeared beneath him, and eventually she spit the wreckage back out, and he dropped onto it and escaped.
Oh.
But they're always kind of paired together, and Tyler brought this up the other day, and when I was looking at it, a lot of it was like, this is where the phrase,
Yeah.
or like you're stuck between a rock, which is where Scylla lived
Okay.
in her cave, and a hard place, which is the whirlpool. And that's where the phrase comes from with it. So
Which makes so much sense.
yeah, like you're
Like,
it kind
you
of
pick
like
one death or the other.
you've got two bad options. So like, which is the lesser
six-headed
of the
dog
evil?
faced
Yeah.
You know.
nymph or a
And he,
yeah.
I mean, he made his choice. I mean, he was going to try to battle Scylla, but she's so quick. She just got his 6 men. You know, that was
snatched him
going to
up.
be the end of it. But unfortunately, it didn't work out like that. So, but yeah, that's mine.
Very interesting.
Very crazy.
Since I feel like you said Circe so many times during that
Yeah.
that we have to throw it
I
over.
mean, it does. Yeah, she did. She does play. I will say she plays
Yeah.
pretty big
Major role, yeah.
major role in it.
So let's hear what Circe has to do with
She's
this.
a pretty creature, though.
Yeah, so Cersei Lannister is a bitch.
Cersei Lannister.
Cersei Lannister.
Wrong
Shame.
story.
No,
Shame.
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 Okay, so
Is Daenerys in it or no? Just okay.
I think
no.
so.
Sorry.
So
Can we
she's
get a
an
redo
enchant-
of season
she's-
8?
Yeah, please.
Oh, that's a whole nother podcast. On that.
Who did he say?
He said, "Can we get a redo of season 8?"
True. True. So Cersei is an enchantress of the Greek myth, and of
Say it. Say it.
the Odyssey.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Odyssey. I cannot speak. Okay, sorry. So
It sounds like he has an accent when he says it.
Audacy. Audacy.
she is the daughter of. I'll start with saying that she is the daughter of Helios, the sun god, and Perse and Oceanid. So she's got some magic, but she turned to dark magic.
She's like the god, or she's like the daughter of like a god and a titan.
So
Oh,
she's.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense. Okay.
So when Odysseus
Yeah. There you go.
Odysseus, yeah, you got it.
and his
So
men
proud of
land
you.
on Aea, some of the men go exploring and they find Circe's palace. And outside are wolves and lions, and they're wildly gentle, but they think that they were transformed humans. So that's why they're not acting like normal predators. So, but Cersei welcomes the men in, feeds them, gives them drugged wine because she's like, knows her herbs.
Drugged wine?
Drugged wine.
Oh.
And she turns them into pigs. Which, I mean, honestly, they deserve it.
Keep going. Sorry.
One man escapes and tells Odysseus, and he goes to rescue them, but Hermes intercepts him and gives him a magical herb called moly, which protects him from Circe's potion. Which, how dare
wait.
your father
What is it?
Moly.
do that?
Moly?
Moly?
Moly, M-O-L-Y.
Oh.
Moly.
Is that the OG Molly? Like
Hmm. I
But
don't
so when Cersei tries to dispel the man and it fails, Odysseus draws his sword. Cersei is shocked, realizes something is going on, and eventually swears not to harm him. So he then stays with her for a year.
Okay.
He's trying to get home to his wife, but he stays with Cersei for a year. Make it add up.
Now, is it in her palace where time moves differently?
I think so.
Sorry, I didn't
Maybe.
know if you were going to say that or not, but I couldn't remember. I was trying to think of it because I think there's a part where he thinks he's only been there for like a week or like a day
he's been
or
there
like
for
a
a
few
year.
days. And he's been there for a year.
Hmm.
I think like in her palace, time moves
Time
differently.
moves differently.
Sorry, I
No,
was
you're
just
good.
I was trying to think of that.
But yeah, so but her yeah, it says that Aea feels like a liminal place, which means it sits between worlds, so it feels longer
Yeah,
to
yeah.
some people.
Mhm.
But in later traditions, though, Circe has children with Odysseus, and the most famous one is Telegonus, and he has a wildly tragic myth where he accidentally kills Odysseus. Sorry, I cannot talk.
What? He kills Odysseus?
That's what it says.
Huh.
It's a myth.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
myth. Okay.
A wildly tragic myth.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think that's about it. But she says that she's also related to Medea.
Medea.
Not the Medea. Not Tyler Perry.
No, it is Tyler Perry, actually.
How is it Tyler Perry?
I don't know.
There is a tragedy about Medea in Greek mythology, but it's not Tyler Perry Medea.
Called a popo-ho.
But that's about it. Yeah, so she just turns men into pigs and seduces them.
Okay. Go
Medea
off,
was
queen.
a witch. I think Medea is the one who deals with Jason and the Argonauts.
Okay.
I think she ties in with that. I could be way off on that, but I'm pretty sure
I think you're right. 'cause
Medea
it
is
said
the witch with that ties in with that. Sorry, but I do remember that. Yeah. I didn't know that was a story with her and Odysseus, though. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Jacob.
You're welcome, Anastasia.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple of monsters. That one, I feel like it could be a perfect place to try and start a cult.
Oh, gosh. I'm out.
Say more, fam.
I'm out.
Okay. So after leaving the land of the Cyclopses, Odysseus and his crew are like blown like way off, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And they arrive on this island called the island of the Lotus-Eaters.
Yeah.
So these are White Lotus. These are a peaceful people who don't attack them or imprison them. Instead, they simply offer them the fruit of the lotus. So,
Isn't it toxic?
Odysseus sends 3 men ashore to investigate. The locals welcome them and give them the lotus. As soon as they eat it, the men completely lose their desire to go home.
Oh, so
That's what it does.
that's the toxic?
That's what it does.
They just want to stay there?
Yep. They don't become violent. They don't become insane. They just forget their mission. And their longing for family and home, it just dissolves. So they want nothing more to stay on the island, eating the fruit of the lotus forever.
Where's this at? Where's it
I
located?
know, right? Like, let us go.
I do remember this now. I was trying to think of it because this is like the third. I think this is the third island they hit because they do the Cyclops, then Aeolus, which is the wind god, who traps all the wind, and they let it go, blown off course, and they go to this one. Yeah, I remember this.
So,
This one's bizarre.
which is
so
why I
weird.
said it's perfect for a cult leader.
Yeah.
You feed them this fruit, and then they just don't want to leave. So when Odysseus discovers what happened, he doesn't negotiate. He just drags their asses back to the ship. And so they're like begging and crying to stay on the island, but he ties them to the rowing benches and orders them and everyone else to sell immediately before anyone can taste the fruit.
Hell yeah.
So no one really knows what the lotus was, but there are some ancient scholars that have proposed a few things. One of them, which I have and we could partake in, is the blue lotus, the lotus flower.
Wait, haven't we done
We've done the blue lotus flower
tea?
before.
Can we do that tonight when we do some legwork?
Yeah. It's so blue lotus is a mildly psychoactive water lily associated with ancient Egypt. So they would frequently take this as a tea in ancient Egypt, and we tried it and nothing happened, but we have it. It could also be the fruit of the jujube, which grows around the Mediterranean and North Africa, or just a completely mythical plant invented by Homer. But what it represents is, it's not like memory loss in like the medical sense, it's like forgetting who you are, forgetting what your mission is, your escape from responsibility. And with Odysseus being such a level-headed, wisdom-filled man, that is not his prerogative, right? So that's why he just like dragged him back. He's like, we're getting away from here. because unlike the other monsters that were actively trying to kill them, this one was just like, why are you working so hard?
Yeah.
Why are you struggling?
Yeah.
You could just stay here and not worry about anything anymore.
Mm.
But of course, that's not what that's not what Odysseus is about. So they don't really, imprison anyone. The guests choose to stay on their own. Whether that's the truth or not, they're kind of forced into that, with the
Yeah.
fruit.
They stay on their own by being
Yeah.
forced into staying on their own.
They
Yeah.
have no choice.
They're
They have
not kicking and screaming to go home or to be set free.
It's very interesting that
Mm-hmm.
this brings up, like, this is a whole another rabbit hole, but the concept of like free will. Of like,
Whoa.
Are we
do you-
Calvinists
do
or
you-
are we not?
Do you have free will or do you have free will forced upon you? Oh, that's a
That's a good
that
topic.
just popped in my head. But that's
Yeah.
really cool, kind of interesting how that
Mm-hmm.
kind of ties into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so that's pretty much the deal with the Lotus-Eaters.
Kind of takes on the cult. I see the cult vibe though. Like,
Oh yeah.
100%.
If you were going
Yeah.
to start a cult, the first thing you would
hey guys,
want
take this
is the lotus
real
flower
quick.
Yeah.
fruit. That way
See what's up with
the
it.
erasing of the the mind.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like all I want to do is stay
It's
here.
a more humane
praise
way
you.
of brainwashing them. You know?
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it. And this is the like sappy person in me is like,
Okay.
yes, it's misconstrued, and yes, he probably cheats on Penelope, which is it's Greek society, but it sucks. But there is a beauty to like the love story of him just wanting to get home, wanting to get to his wife,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and so he refuses to take that lotus because he knows that will keep him from getting home.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about it. If he took it,
But he didn't go to
He'd be
land,
staying.
though, right?
to
He
what?
He didn't actually go to the island. He sent his
he
men there.
he sent his men there, and but
kind of
somehow he
shows,
got
though,
them
too, like-
back.
Then
to
he
strap 'em
eventually
to
does
the,
he eventually go and basically drags them back?
drags them back to the ship.
Okay,
Ties
yeah,
them
But
to it.
so he does go land, like
Eventually.
to land. But just
Somehow he
doesn't.
knows that they don't want to leave.
Gotcha.
And then somehow, of course, because he's smart, he figures it out, right?
Freaking Odysseus, man.
I know. Okay, so the second people I want to talk about is the Laestrygonians. So
Yeah, these
they
guys are crazy.
are pretty monstrous, not in the sense of like the Scylla, but they are
Yeah.
like a barbarian.
Very brutal. Yeah.
Um,
I can't wait to see how these are
cannibalistic
predicted. Like, since we're
in the
doing this in
story- in
honor
the
of the
movie?
movie,
Yeah.
I cannot wait. So I've seen like the trailer and people speculate these are the cannibalistic people. I hope they're cool because in
Yeah.
the story they're brutal. Like they're so barbaric.
I watched a video of somebody talking about the trailer and how he was thinking that there were these people with like armor that
Yeah.
he was suspecting to be the
To be
Laestrygonians.
Yeah.
But he was like, that is not how they would
I know.
be
I
at
hope.
all.
I hope that I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
Which, I mean,
Which
it
it's a
is-
myth.
it's
At the
a
end of the
myth.
at the end of
It's
the
a
day,
retelling of a myth.
there is so much
True.
interpretation you can go on.
Yeah.
So
For real, yeah.
So the Laestrygonians are an entire civilization of giant cannibals.
Oh my god.
So-
this is terrifying.
Yeah. So after escaping the earlier dangers that Odysseus came to, him and his fleet discovered what appeared to be like a perfect harbor. It's very calm, protected by steep cliffs, and looked like a perfect place to go and just chill out for a little bit. So almost all of the ships went into this harbor. But Odysseus feels very uneasy about it. So instead of entering, he ties his own ship outside the harbor entrance. Homer never fully explains why. It's just, of course, he's a smart man. This is what he's doing.
just-
So that
just
one
kinda-
decision, saved his entire life. So Odysseus sends scouts. They encounter a gigantic young woman drawing water from a spring. So she directs them to the palace of her father, who's the king. And inside the palace, they find his enormous wife, who is described as being as huge as a mountain.
Oh.
So then the king arrives, and without hesitation, he grabs one of Odysseus's men and eats him.
as you do.
And
As they so often do.
yeah, and so the rest of the scouts, they're scared, right? So they leave and they flee. But as the survivors race back towards the harbor, the king raises the alarm. So thousands of Laestrygonians are swarming the cliffs to see the trapped ships. And instead of arrows, they just hurl massive boulders.
Rocks. Yeah.
Like
So they're out here shot putting all these
Could
boulders.
you imagine trying to sell off and just, I mean, just being bombarded with huge boulders?
cannons
It's
of boulders.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in this, like, you're between all these cliffs. You have nowhere to turn. The rocks are crushing ship after ship while the giant spears sailors from the water like fish, right? So, you know, like those people
crazy.
throwing spears in, they're catching these people, right? Odysseus's men. So only Odysseus's ship escapes because it never actually entered the harbor. He cuts the rope and rows desperately back out to sea.
That's wild.
Yeah. So this is his single greatest loss, right? Because he had 12 ships. He left with 12 ships. So after the Laestrygonians attack, 11 ships are destroyed. So there's only one vessel left to get home, which he's been trying so hard.
Yeah.
So hard to get home. And it's just thing after thing, you know? So some of the stuff that I watched about this was, it was the Greek civilization was really afraid of people who didn't fit within the line
Yeah.
of being in civilization, you know? So not only were they giants, which the Greeks were afraid of, they were cannibals and savage, right?
Yeah.
So that was like one of the biggest fears of Greeks in this society because of how against the grain that they were. They weren't going to fall in line. They
Yeah.
weren't going to do what, you know, popular people say to do, right? It is, these are totally outside. So
Yeah.
it was terrifying for them with this portion of it. But yeah, that's the giant cannibals, which I'm excited as well to see how they're portrayed.
Yeah. I'm
can't wait to
curious
watch
to
this movie.
see,
It's gonna be so good.
I know.
because I feel like there's no way you can hit every single monster and island that he goes on. I'm curious to see what he
actually hits on.
what he hits on
Yeah.
and what he doesn't. I mean, there's so many, even in like the mini series that I was telling you about, they don't hit on all of those. Like the cannibal monsters are not in there, which always
Which
was,
is-
I was so
yeah.
disappointed because I was like, I kind of want to see how they
Yeah.
are depicted.
I just looked it up, and that was what we watched. Because, like, about the 90s, like late 90s, early
Yeah,
2000s. Yeah, that was the one we watched.
That was
in
yeah.
school.
Honestly, like it's outdated and obvious,
Yeah.
but it like for what it was, it holds
It's-
up really well.
Yeah.
It does a good job of like just telling the yearningness of wanting to get back home. I love that.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's the yearning to get home and the dedication to your home and the dedication to your family and your wife is just, that's the story of the Odyssey and how you can overcome all of that, but not with brute strength, right? And I think that's the coolest part about it.
Yeah.
Is he was just so smart and so cunning and knew what to do
He made
without
some
even knowing
boss
it.
ass moves.
He
Yeah.
has very
If
good
you really
intuition,
think about
honestly.
it, it was like
Yeah.
he was the CEO, those were his minions, and it was like,
He's a
sorry
Capricorn,
guys, but
baby.
like,
Aw.
He's a Capricorn.
But that was the beauty of the story too. Is like he has his downfalls.
yeah,
Like he goes on the island with Calypso at one point.
Right, yeah,
He
yeah.
basically is debating whether he should stay there or go back to
Yeah.
Ithaca. And so like he is I mean, there's a beauty in almost all Greek myths. That's why I love Greek mythology so much is they are not these perfect characters. They are flawed and they are fallible in some way, some form.
it's easier to relate to them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because
Minus the, like,
while they are heroes or even gods, or
God.
demigods,
Yeah, it's like-
they have flaws and they have these
yeah,
these issues that they're constantly
they
trying
feel
to
more
do.
like real people to be immortals.
just so much more relatable. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So this was fun little dive into Greek mythology. I know that we'll cover more of this in the
Yeah.
future because there's so much to talk about.
We've already been talking about how we're going to circle back on so many other topics that we talked
Yeah.
about before. So this will
Yeah.
be one of those topics. Again, if we can tie food into it and have a reason to eat a themed meal, we're going to do
Yeah.
it. Because we did that again
We're
tonight.
very food motivated.
We're very food
There
motivated.
is something interesting though how out of all the mythologies, Egyptian has like people know Egyptian mythology and stuff like that, but even like your people that are not super knowledgeable in mythologies, like everyone knows Zeus.
Yeah.
Everyone's heard of Hades or Hercules, or it is very interesting how Greek mythology is able to last through the ages.
Well,
Right. It's everywhere.
I mean, it's part of curriculum in school in America.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I'm
saying,
saying?
like,
It's like,
But even like, I mean, I've taught like 6th grade before, and I've had to teach Egyptian mythology, and I've had to teach Greek. But like, it's funny because even like a 6th graders, I'll be able to say, Osiris or Isis or Anubis, and some of them will know.
Yeah.
Some of them will not heard.
people will know Zeus.
But they'll know Zeus. They'll know
I
Hercules.
feel like
And
that's
I'm
even
sure
the case with
Disney
us.
having Hercules.
Yes.
I'm sure having like modern
Right.
media and stuff has definitely
Yeah.
helped. But it is so interesting how that has
Yeah.
lasted through the ages
Well, yeah.
compared to other mythologies.
I mean, us three, right? Jacob, Jonathan, and I, we probably know more about Greek mythology than we do about Egyptian mythology.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, we know the names
Mm-hmm.
and we know what some of the gods are, but like, you obviously are really into Egyptian mythology, so you know a lot. But
there is more, like you said, though.
Yeah.
I think that there's more Greek, because I mean, like Percy Jackson. you've
Yeah,
got-
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much
It's weird how that's
tailored
lasted
Yeah.
through.
to where, like,
Well,
kids.
it's not only the Greeks, but it's the Romans.
Yeah, the
right?
Romans
and
too,
the
yeah, yeah.
Romans had the same sort of mythology, and we all know that the Roman Empire.
Which, to be fair, that's probably why it's lasted longer,
Yeah,
is because you didn't get Alexander the Great in the Hellenistic period where he wanted to tie, Greek and Roman mythology into society, and so
Right.
it's just kind of
and it's way
it's
more
always been.
modern history than Egyptian mythology, right?
for sure, yeah,
But
it's very cool.
super cool, a lot of fun. If you're Greek and you want to talk to us, or if you are
If you're an Odyssey,
if you're an Odyssey,
Odyssey character.
if you're an Odyssey,
if you're an Odysseus, or if you're a monster and you, I don't know. If
don't
you're-
talk to us.
Yeah. Feel free to send us your stories, your comments, and your hey,
Concerns.
if you have something you want us to talk about, you can email us.
I would,
spirits@theroundtable
if there's like myths or
gmail.com.
something they want us to hit on, that would be so
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
to like hear like what
Yeah, like
they want
topics
us.
or whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love that.
So you can email us, or you can,
Hit us up on TikTok.
yeah. And we hope you guys have a great week.
And if it's your birthday, we love you.
It's your birthday. We
you're
hope
not,
you
like, in
don't
the
go on
slums.
Monster Odysseys.
Yeah.
I hope you're not in the slums.
If you are in the slums and
It's
it's your
okay.
birthday, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy
and
birthday.
we're sorry. We love you.
All right, you guys. I hope you have a great week.
And a
We love
great
you.
month.
We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.